Hi guys, how are you all doing? It's the fourth day of the new year, and how's the new year been so far? I know that some people are spending this time in introspection, some people are on personal retreats, just really mapping out and strategizing how the new year is going to be. So I've been having my personal time of introspection and planning as well for the new year. I've actually started doing that towards the end of 2019, and in this first few days of the new year, I'm still crystallizing the picture. I'm still trying to make sure that I have everything fit right where I want it to be, and I know where I really want to go in the year 2020. But this morning, as I was just writing things down in my journal, I realized that the problem is actually not with visualization. A lot of us have lofty dreams. And I say this because I was looking at my goal sheet for year 2019 and I realized all the things that I had written, some of which I haven't achieved yet, and that's okay. But then I realized that the problem is not with visualization. By visualization, I mean the problem is not with defining where you want to go. The problem is not with setting goals. Everybody can do that. Desires are dime a dozen. And it's very easy for us to actually write out and do vision boards and write out all the things that we want to do. Though the problem comes when we now need to move from that point of visualization to the point of execution. That's what I was learning as I was just looking over my goals from last year and also planning for this year. And I thought to share with you guys. The problem is actually in the execution. And if 2020 is going to bear different results, then we're going to need to go out this year differently. Remember that in my welcome video for the year, I said that pursuit is the evidence of desire. And this year, I am committing to actually going in fearless pursuit of all the things that I desire under God. By fearless pursuit, I use the word fearless pursuit because I realized that one of the things that actually limits us, that actually stops us from going from that point of visualization to execution and actually seeing these things materialize in our lives is actually fear. And you know that I have done a series of videos on fear on my vlog in the past. But then I would just speak on two major fears that I was able to identify freshly this morning that I felt were also things that actually limited me a bit also in 2019, and I'm going to try to do away with in the year 2020. One of those fears is the fear of failure. Oh my gosh. And I know that it's a common factor for most of us. No one wants to go at a task and knowing that they will fail. No one sets to go at a task knowing that they will fail. And oftentimes we allow the fear of failure limit us. For the things that I was able to achieve in 2019, I realized that the truth that liberated me was knowing that my self-esteem was not tied to my outcomes. Yes, I've said that before in the previous video. And this is a truth that I actually want us to all internalize and I want us to actually soak in and crystallize in this year. Your self-esteem is not tied to your outcomes. That way, you're able to see failure for what it really is. It's just a signpost in the direction of what you should be doing, what you shouldn't be doing, and how to better improve yourself. We need to get the right perspective about failure in 2020 if we're going to be able to go in dogged pursuit of our goals. So the first thing we need to do away with as we go on in 2020 will be the fear of failure. The second thing I realized is the fact that a lot of us go around weighed down by people's expectations of us. And this in itself is a limiting factor. It stops us from going at our dreams and stops us from going at our goals because we're really worried and bothered about what people will say, what will people think, would people think that this is good, or as I'm doing this video, is it good enough? All of those funny things that actually stop us. But this year, I am committing and I am challenging you to actually lay down the weight of other people's expectations. Choose you, prioritize your journey with God. Prioritize this adventure that God has called you to and decide to go at it. Sometimes the expectations that we have to do away with are the expectations of people that love us the most. And you need to actually realize that you cannot let people's negative perceptions about life begin to color your own perspective and begin to affect the way you're going to go at your dreams and go at your goals. So some people would actually love you so much but tell you that some of your goals are too big and some of the things you want to achieve are impossible. Those are some of the things you're going to need to do away with in the year 2020. You're going to choose you. You're going to prioritize this adventure that you're getting on. You're going to prioritize this journey that you're going on. And you're going to go in dogged pursuit of your goals. Another thing I realized was that, gosh, persistence is such a big deal, and it's really the breaking point for a lot of us. That point where you just need to just that little push, that little extra push, and that is found in just following through. I remember that last year I was going to move to the UK. Yes, I recently moved. I will probably share more about that in another video. And at the point where I was applying for jobs, I mean, I felt like I had a really great CV. Like my CV looked good and it was well packaged and I had the right grades and all those funny things. And then I kept applying and I was getting, no, sorry, you've been rejected. No, sorry, this has happened. No, I mean, for a whole 2 months, there was no green lights. There was no, it just seemed like, okay, maybe this is not what you're supposed to be doing. But then I knew that I had gotten this desire from God, and I knew that this was what God wanted me to be doing in 2019. So I persisted despite the no's. I followed through despite the oppositions. I followed through despite the setbacks. And I can tell you for a fact that when they started to come, they came back to back. The interviews started coming back to back. To the point where I'd even gotten the job that I'm currently working at. And I was still getting interviews for other roles that I had to start sending, oh, I'm sorry, I can't interview for your role because I've already signed a contract with another hospital and stuff. I'm not saying this to gloat. I'm just saying this to encourage you that you really do not know what is going to be at the end of the journey. And sometimes the gap, the extra thing you need to just get the desires of your heart is just following through. So this year you're going to need to be persistent. You're going to need to follow through. You're going to need to push through. You're going to need to rise up above limitations and continue going at those things. It might have been something that you have started in 2019. Do not abandon ship yet, because I know that if you persist and if you follow through, you might just get to that point where you want to see and achieve that thing that you desire in this new year. But apart from all of that, I'm also learning to not put myself under pressure. I'm learning to be present in the moment. I'm learning to enjoy the journey as well. Some of us are just so destination focused. We're focused on the destination and the end point that we miss many pleasurable and many defining moments in the journey as well. So you need to learn to soak in every moment, soak in every defining point, soak in the journey, enjoy the journey. That is what I'm doing. I'm enjoying the journey. I'm not despising the process. I'm going at all my goals in a measurable manner. They're time bound, they're realistic, but then I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying this journey. And I just want to encourage you, as you either are still planning or as you have already planned for 2020, you need to do away with fear. You need to do away with the weight of other people's expectations, and you need to be persistent if you're going to see some of the things that you desire for 2020 materialize. I'm really wishing everyone an amazing year, a pressure-free year, and a year where you actualize your dreams and you actualize all of your goals. I really love all of you guys so much, and I'll keep updating you and sharing from my heart, basically. Nothing scripted, just from my heart. Love you. Have a beautiful day and enjoy your weekend. Bye.